But then again, so are thunder, lightning, tornadoes, and hail. Cher had a quote. She said, "The trouble with some women is that they get all excited about nothing, and then they marry." And another person described marriage as a relationship in which one person is always right, and the other is the husband. So as I said, those aren't necessarily the kind of thoughts you want to start a marriage with. Yet they're funny. And humor, that ability to laugh with someone, is an important element in any relationship. So I asked myself, what other elements are important in a marriage? I remembered speaking to my mother and asking her what advice she would give to any young couple. And without hesitating, Mom answered, respect each other. And that's great advice because it's something we all need. No two people are going to see eye to eye on everything. There will be times when you disagree, and those disagreements might be extreme. Everyone has heard those very common wedding vows, for better or for worse. Well, when the worst comes along, you have to remember that this person isn't your opponent or your adversary. This is your partner. Or, as we said in the Bible, Song of Songs, this is my beloved. This is my friend. And friendship is one of the most important elements in any marriage. It might seem like a very obvious point, but let's face it. If you're going to be around this person every day for the rest of your life, you better like them. My sister Sandy has been married to her husband Ken for 36 years. And theirs is one of the best marriages I've ever seen. And when Sandy was asked, how did they make it work? Her answer was both simple and profound. She said, I married my best friend. And making it work is a good phrase because marriage is work. Guys, saying I do is the easy part. The hard part comes later. A psychologist once said, marriage is not a noun, it's a verb. It's not something you get, it's something you do. It's the way you love your partner every day. Another said, a perfect marriage is just two imperfect people who refuse to give up on each other. And for those imperfect moments, you will need forgiveness. One thing I can guarantee is that you will screw up. Somehow, some way. We'd all be Somehow, some way, you will make mistakes, and maybe big ones. And that's when you need to remember what Mark Twain said. A happy marriage is a union of two good forgivers. But, of all the important elements in a marriage, the greatest is love. And on that subject, there is no shortage of quotes. From the Bible Song of Solomon, I have found the one whom my soul loves. From the poet Maya Angelou, in all the world, there is no heart for me like yours. In all the world, there is no love for you like mine. And finally, from the book of 1 Corinthians comes one of the greatest and best known quotes, which is why it's often shared in weddings. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. And it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails. Now, when the three of us discussed this ceremony, I asked them if they were going to write their own vows, and without hesitating, they both replied, "Oh, God, no." But they did ask that something be read, and I'm going to do so now. It's entitled Union by Robert Fuller. You have known each other from the first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment. At some point, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed, you have been making commitments in an informal way. All those conversations that were held in a car, or over a meal, or during long walks, all those conversations that began with, "When we're married," and continued with, "I will," and "You will," and "We will," and all those late night talks that included "someday," and "somehow," and "maybe," and all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, "You know all those things that we've promised and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant it all. Every word." Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. Acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, even teacher. For you have learned much from one another these past few years. Shortly, you shall say a few words that will take you across the threshold of life. And things between you will never quite be the same. For after today, you shall say to the world, "This is my husband. This is my wife." Kyle and Kristen, today you marry your best friend, the one you laugh with, live for, dream with, and love unconditionally. Ready? Kyle, do you take Kristen to be your wife, your partner in life, and your one true love? Will you trust and respect her, laugh and cry with her, love her faithfully through good times and bad, regardless of the obstacles you may face together? Will you give your hand, your heart, and your love from this day forward for as long as you both shall live? I do. You better. Kristen, do you take Kyle to be your husband, your partner in life, and your one true love? Will you trust and respect him, laugh and cry with him, love him faithfully through good times and bad, regardless of the obstacles you may face together? Will you give your hand, your heart, and your love from this day forward for as long as you both shall live? May I have the ring, please? God, please place this ring on her finger and repeat after me. Kristen, I give you this ring. Kristen, I give you this ring. As a daily reminder of my love for you. Kristen, please place the ring on Kyle's finger and repeat after me. Kyle, I give you this ring. As a daily reminder of my love for you. One of the first plans that Kyle and Kristen made was to plant a tree at the site of their future home. This tree will be a symbol of the life they are beginning together. Kyle and Kristen, let your marriage be like this tree. Let it grow tall and strong and its roots grow deep. Let it be resilient in the face of storms that life brings, and let it come through unscathed. And as you water it now, let your marriage be likewise nourished with your constant encouragement, trust, and love. In the book of Matthew, Jesus said, "At the beginning the Creator made them male and female, and said, 'For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one. Therefore what God has joined together, let man not separate.'" Kyle and Kristen, you have made your marriage vows to one another, witnessed by your friends and family. You have sealed your vows with the giving and receiving of these rings. So now, by the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife. Kiss the girl. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, it is my greatest pleasure to present to you Kyle and Kristen Nunley.